ScoreNorth.com. Also, our YouTube channels, youtube.com/ScoreNorthMN and youtube.com/Purple Daily Podcast. Judd's Keys comes out to give us the
Turn
four
off the
things.
Fox News and get in here with those keys.
Keys.
Loves Fox News. He's just so upset about that Arizona thing on Tuesday.
Called it early.
Yeah, he was very, very upset. Keys was... he did a few years after
he was
that.
an in-person voter then, I'm guessing. Election day voter. Not a
Oh,
mail-in
yeah.
voter. Just making sure.
No. Keys don't put nothing in the mail. He don't trust the mail. He don't trust the mailman.
So what does Keys think about the Vikings' chances against the Detroit Lions?
All right, Keys, thank you very much. 4 keys. I'm looking at 4 keys for a Vikings win. The keys to a Vikings win on Sunday against the Lions at US Bank Stadium. Key number 4, we will work our way up as we always do. Chasing the game. Matthew Stafford is on the COVID-19 list. He's eligible to come off that list on Sunday, so he could be flown here in a private plane, but there's no guarantee. And if he does not start, that puts, Chase Daniel in line to make the start against the Vikings. And now you're saying to yourself, hold on a second, Judd, that name, and Keys, that name rings a bell. Why does that name ring a bell? Chase Daniel. Where did I see him last? You saw him last, I believe it was last September, beating the Vikings, replacing Mitch Trubisky, who got hurt at Soldier Field.
Oof.
He has only made, get this, he has only made 5 career starts in 10 seasons. Chasing the game is the 4th key.
Yeah, he's like, of all the backup quarterbacks that you would mostly just dismiss, right? There's probably 2 or 3 that the Vikings have actually been haunted by.
We said that Matt Moore.
He's one of them, Matt Moore.
Last season.
And there's probably a couple others. In general, I trust Mike Zimmer against inexperienced or backup quarterbacks, but that was ugly last year. So what's the word now that Matt Stafford, he's probably going to play, right?
Yeah, he is still, I believe the last word is that the Lions won't talk about it, but Stafford's wife continues to tweet that he is testing negative.
Okay.
So he's not sick.
Okay. He's good. All right. Key number 3.
Key number 3. Oh, Keys. Really? Okay. I just read these. It's been a good run. Adrian Peterson will return to US Bank Stadium on Sunday, and he has become the Rolling Stones of the National Football League, okay? He is 35. He is coming off a 7-yard rushing day on 5 attempts against the Colts. He hasn't rushed for more than 75 yards in a game since he went for 93 in week 1 against the Bears.
You know he's going for a hundo in this one.
He is now on his 4th team. This is what we feared would happen. Adrian Peterson as a Lion completes the cycle of don't do this, but he won't stop, partially probably because of payday and partially because he just continues to think he can chase the all-time rushing record, which is ridiculous. But it's been a great run. You're a Hall of Fame player. I don't think he's going to do much. I think he's cooked. I think he's done.
He's motivated though. They have
so is Griffin, but
I don't want to step on your other keys.
About that.
A couple motivated old guys that might have one last Kobe against the Jazz game left in them. I'm just saying, you don't want to dismiss these guys.
It is sad though, right?
I don't find it as sad as you do. I mean,
for
if
a
the guy
that's
wants to
great
keep
at
playing,
one time,
I'm able to block it out. Like,
I can't block it out.
I know that when you think of Willie Mays, you think of him falling down in the outfield. When you think of Peyton Manning,
he won a Super Bowl, but the ball was fluttering through the air like I threw it.
Yeah, and I don't like. I think about those guys definitely fell off a cliff at the end, but it doesn't take away from watching them for 15 years. And Adrian Peterson,
see, it does for me. That's what's weird.
When I think of Adrian Peterson, I'm not going to think of what about that weird year in Detroit? I'm going to think him running for almost 300 yards against the Chargers in 2007.
I'll think of a guy that had the inability to preserve his greatness, in my opinion, because his greatness was so great.
Actually, real quick, let me because I know Adrian probably has the all-time rushing leaderboard as his homepage and his home screen on his phone.
100% he does, Phil.
He loves, and he talked about this like in his first, second, third year in the NFL. He had Barry Sanders, like he had these guys that he wanted to catch, and Emmitt Smith, obviously the all-time leader.
Yes.
So Adrian Peterson right now is 5th on the all-time rushing list. He passed Curtis Martin, I think last year he passed. No, he might have passed him this year. But he's top 5 now all-time rushing. So he needs to catch Barry Sanders. He needs like 650 yards to become 4th all-time.
Where's Frank Gore on this list now?
Frank Gore's 3rd.
This is the greatest.
And Frank Gore's doing the same thing Peterson's doing, just 3.5 yards. You know.
Oh, he's a Jet. He's a Jet. It's almost worse than being a Lion.
So Adrian is 1,100 yards behind Frank Gore.
Yep.
And he is 2,200 yards behind Walter Payton. I don't think he's going to be able to get 2,200 yards the rest of his career.
No.
But in Adrian's mind, so you say he's tainting his legacy. In Adrian's mind, he's thinking, well, if I can get to 3rd on the all-time rushing list and it takes me 5 years of just like grinding out team by team, then at least I'll be looked at as a top 3 all-time yardage rusher.
And that's not, and look, if he was just always a solid, really good player, I'd say fine. The problem is his peak greatness was so great that this, to me, now trying to watch him takes away from that. But that's just me too. So,
all right, key number 2.
Key number 2 for a Vikings victory over the Detroit Lions on Sunday. You're going to like this one. In fact, I wrote this 2 days ago before Zim, or I believe on the day that Zim called this guy. He was a good player. Rush for revenge. Rush for revenge. Everson Griffin makes his Lions debut on Sunday. He was traded, I believe it was last week, after a disappointing stint with the terrible Dallas Cowboys. He was traded to Detroit, and he will be out for revenge. I actually fear him more than I do Peterson, because I think that there's far more left in this gas tank. But the story that we then saw, of course, yesterday was at a press conference. I believe it was his introductory press conference in Detroit, at which Griffin basically time and time again, without being prompted, brought up the fact that on Wednesday, when asked about his former player, Zim called him a good player and not a great player.
Let's play as we got this here, right?
Yep.
I miss guys. I miss Harrison. I miss Anthony. I miss EK. I miss Zimmer. So when Zimmer said that about that, I'm a good player. All right. We're going to see who's a good player on Sunday. All right. That's what I got for him. And I be looking, I'm just a good player. All right, he got a good player coming his way. He got okay. He gonna see on Sunday what he got coming for him. They gonna put some respect on my name. He gonna put respect on my name. That's all I'm saying. Like he just wasn't a good coach to me. He was a great coach. He helped me improve. He helped me grow. So I don't ever talk bad about people. So for him to call me a good player, all right, I got something for him on Sunday.
You know what's amazing? By the way, I appreciate the fine art of athletes and coaches finding any little thing as whiteboard material.
Yes. Agreed.
And Mike Zimmer, I just saw the quote. I didn't hear the way that he said it, but Mike Zimmer earlier in the week said, yeah, Everson was a good player for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish him the best. I just don't want him to play well. Mike Zimmer probably thinks very highly of Everson Griffin.
And he doesn't praise.
Thought that he was complimenting him.
And he really doesn't praise a ton.
No.
Like Mike does not praise guys. Like he will throw out bouquets at certain guys, but he doesn't go around basically on a weekly basis being like, that guy played for us and he belongs in Canton.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're right. This is here's the thing that I find most unusual about this is Griffin is always going. So like he's the one guy to me that I wouldn't think would have to do this to actually pump himself up, but clearly he thinks he does.
He's looking for a little extra juice in this game. And key number 1 to a Vikings win over the Lions.
I put him on at least 2 sacks, by the way, on Sunday.
Yeah,
write that down?
I won't deny that.
I did write that down. That's exactly right. All right. Key number 1. This is a good lesson for America right here. This headline. This is something we all should adopt, and this is something we all should do. And
then if the Vikings are up 7-0 in the first quarter, we want them to stop the count.
But if they're down, keep counting. But if they're up, stop the count. Stop. No. This is like a lesson.
Should have stopped the count before the fourth quarter of the 1998 NFC Championship
There's a lot of jokes there, Phil. There's a lot of jokes there. No, this is a lesson for man, woman, child. I don't care who you are. Key number 1, Vikings, Lions. Stay grounded. Stay grounded. Don't get out of your comfort zone. Don't do something dumb, because you know what Zim is going to do and Kubiak is going to do and the Vikings. And we saw this on Sunday in Green Bay and it worked. So do it again. And I'm sure that they will try. Stay grounded. Kirk Cousins, 14 passes against the Packers. Dalvin Cook in that game, absolutely marvelous. That was, and granted that the weather played a factor, but that was the ideal Zim game plan, staying grounded, which I think the Vikings, as long as Cook is healthy, and that's an if, but as long as Dalvin Cook can basically have about 30 to 32 touches per game, the Vikings are going to stay grounded.
And the reason why that is just a completely unsustainable formula is because if Dalvin Cook does indeed touch the ball 30 to 33 times per game,
Yes.
he will not be playing
This is correct.
all of the football games this season.
This is correct.
He might touch the ball 20 times and still have injury problems, but I can guarantee you if you give him the ball again 32 times that he probably won't be playing games in December. And then the other reason it's unsustainable is because at some point, maybe even starting this week, teams are just going to put the ball back in Kirk's hands and say,
Yes.
all right, dude.
Yes, they are.
If we're going to pick our poison here, we'd rather it be Kirk. And to Kirk's credit, like I rarely give Kirk credit, but Kirk is able to leverage the threat of running and play action. And if the ball is in his hand against a mediocre opponent, he's one of the guys that could light up for 350 and 3 touchdowns. And Justin Jefferson goes off for a big game. So that actually, we'll get to some of the deeper dives in our Purple Daily discussions on our other podcast. But I think there's a chance the threat even of Dalvin Cook and just the want to make sure he doesn't run for 200 yards could open the door for a big Kirk Cousins game.
2008, baby. 2008. It's going to be the same exact thing. The problem with Kirk is he can throw for 3 touchdowns. He can have a great game. And then the way things have gone in 2020, he can also throw 3 picks. So we shall see. But stay grounded, damn it.
So those are Judd's keys to a Vikings victory over the Detroit
Everson.
Lions.
I love the fact he's all pumped up for this one, you guys. This is the greatest Everson.
Hey, Lions
Put
are
some
Lions are
respect on my name.
I love that one. I love that one.
Lions are
Put